Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. I'm making this video because I want to give you guys an update as to what happened with my bus. A couple of days ago I uploaded a video talking about how the check engine light was on. Well, the very next day, which was yesterday, or actually no, the same day, the bus was supposedly fixed and the check engine light was cleared because I guess there was some gunk in the EGR system near the differential pressure sensor. And then yesterday when I was parked and fast idling it, the check engine light came back. What do you guess? And I had about a 20 to 25% D rate along with it, and it wouldn't take a regen, including with my scan tool, because when the check engine light comes on, a lot of times it inhibits the vehicle's ability to do a regen. And you might be asking, well, why didn't you just clear the code? Well, I tried, but this particular tool I have doesn't work for that. It does work to do a regen, because obviously you try it with the switch in a Freightliner, it's not going to go unless the DPF light is on or flashing. So I'm back in this bus for the time being, because my bus was out of service earlier today. They did manage to get a new differential pressure sensor, I guess from either a distributor that sells them or a Cummins dealer, something along those lines. I don't know where my shop gets their parts from, but once again, you know, our master tech and also our shop manager cleaned the system once again, put the new differential pressure sensor on, and did a forced regen. So that bus is back in service once again, and the check engine light's gone. So you might be wondering, well, what was the problem? The problem was hot and cold air colliding and creating condensation near that differential pressure sensor. So it was a mixture of water and soot near that sensor, and I noticed a bit of an exhaust leak as well. It smelled horrible when I opened the door. So my guess is that that differential pressure sensor was just faulty or not installed correctly. Sorry, I accidentally stopped recording. As I was saying, because I don't think that this problem has happened in our other 2024. And I'm thankful it was a 2024 that it happened in, because it's under warranty. So if anything breaks and it's covered under the warranty, it's no cost to our shop or our company whatsoever. But yeah, it's been a hot minute since I drove this bus. This is New Old Reliable, number 393. It hasn't let me down once. This has the most miles of any of our 2020s, and I've been able to depend on it time and time again. I did notice, however, that it does have a bit of an air leak behind the dash that was not there before, and the parking brake's a little out of adjustment. So that's going to have to be tightened again, but I will let our shop manager know. And he does watch this YouTube channel, so he might find out just from watching this video. So I might not have to tell him. He'd just find out by watching the video. One thing I will say I like about these older M2s is the fact that you can sit at night with no lights on, full stealth mode, not blind anybody. In my bus, even if your light switch is off, the daytime running lights are going to be on whenever the engine's running. Doesn't matter if the parking brake is set. That's just the way the S2C is. The daytime running lights are on whenever it's running. And I don't like that because it's not full stealth mode, because the daytime running lights are still on. Well, in this bus, it does have daytime running lights, so push off the parking brake. I don't know if you can see it, but the daytime running lights are on. Pull it and they go off. Yeah, it might be hard to see, but they are on. Let me pull that parking brake again. They just went out. It's got the older style dump control. Let me get some lights on that. So it's a manual switch as opposed to an electronic one, so you can actually keep the suspension down when the key is off. And it has this pilot light for when it is down, so you don't drive with the suspension still down. It's a good reminder, you know, before you drive off, flip this switch, push in your parking brake, shift from neutral into your desired gear. As far as other things go, I got a funny story for you. So today I was actually supposed to go out of state into Michigan, making multiple stops at multiple different train stations. But they decided they didn't need my bus because it was an extra bus. The driver behind me, also from my company, ended up taking my route. He had a 56-passenger MCI J4500 as opposed to my 39-passenger Gretsch GM40. And if you're wondering, no, I still have not driven the J4500s yet. That probably will change soon. The company owner is planning to buy a few more of them. So I think he's waiting for that before he will train me on them. But I am excited for it nonetheless. Because in addition to those buses, we're also getting a couple new 2026 GM40s to replace some aging older buses we have. Namely, the bus that never left hell and the first bus I ever drove with this company, which that bus is a 2017, and it had an on and off mill light. But that problem has since been solved because it was a NOx sensor going faulty every now and then, causing that light to come on and off. But anyway, yeah, as I was saying, this bus hasn't let me down all that much. It did have a problem where the door ajar light would always be on, even if you flipped the master kill switch. Well, that was because of a defective sensor in the service door. And also the service door would sometimes get stuck when trying to open it. Ah, it just did it. I thought it was fixed. So sometimes you have to close it and open it back. Or you would have to flip the emergency release. But yeah, I mean, what else is there to say? So I'll probably be back in my bus sometime next week because I am going out of town Saturday into Indiana. I'm not going to reveal details about the group I'm driving. It is a school group. But normally I would take my bus, but since I'm going out of state and the emergency door release in my bus is broken, I'm probably going to request a different bus, because if I'm going out of state, I prefer to have that working in case there was an emergency and someone needed to crack the door open. Like if the bus started going up in flames, well, they would have to basically rely on me opening the door, which in a fire emergency, the first thing I'd be thinking about is pulling that emergency release and evacuating the bus. So yeah. But yeah, as far as other things go, that bus has been very reliable. It's been more reliable than any 2020 on the lot because it's a 2024. Designs have improved. But our 2026 buses that we're getting, theoretically, they will have a park position on the gear shifter because my bus does not have park at all. This bus has PB, which is not park in the transmission, but it automatically sets the parking brake and keeps it set until you first shift out of PB. But that doesn't really do anything when the key is off, because when the key is off, it doesn't matter what position you have this in, you can still release the parking brake. And that's because there's a valve that relies on ignition power to activate whenever the shifter's in PB, which prevents the parking brake from being inadvertently released. But that's the only time it works, is when the key is on or the bus is running. So I think park in the transmission's better because it's a double security. You have park in the gearbox, and then you have the parking brake. So if the parking brake were to catastrophically fail, or the parking pawl in the transmission, you at least have the other thing that will hold the bus until you can get it back to the shop. Not only that, but if you have park in the transmission, you don't have to put it in neutral to do your air brake test. In this bus, you do have to put it in neutral, because part of the air brake test is releasing the parking brake. And so when you have the park in the transmission, you don't have to worry about chalking your wheels so your bus won't roll away, because it'll be in park and you can do your air brake test. But you should never use the parking pawl in place of the parking brake. You should always use them together in concert. And not only that, but these buses are designed so that if you don't have the parking brake set, the door will not open. So no matter how much I hit this button, since my parking brake's off, the door's not going to open until I set it. And now the door opens. And I must say, that is a very good safety feature to have, because that way it reminds drivers they have to secure the bus before they can load or unload. Alright, I think that's gonna wrap up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed.